I'm Jamie.
I'm Matt.
And this is Adventure Keeps Calling My Name, our
Yeah.
YouTube channel devoted to our love of travel and adventure and just getting out there and living life the best we can. And sometimes when you're living life to the fullest, bad things happen.
They can.
They do. But the key to when something bad happens, and it's terrible at the time, not making light of that, is knowing that this is going to be a great story someday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
We've been married now for 33 years. Is that right, math man?
Yeah.
33 years.
In
Okay.
July. Yep.
Yeah. And we've taken lots of trips together. And we have had some really terrific, perfect trips. I think maybe one of those. Yeah. But the rest, there's always been something that goes bad, something that goes weird, or just falls apart.
Yeah.
And now we find, when we're sitting around talking about it, playing cards and talking with my sister and brother-in-law, what are the things we talk about, Matt?
The things that went wrong.
Went wrong. And are funny now.
They're funny, yeah.
They're funny now. And as a matter of fact, sometimes it has been so out there that now that's how we remember the trip.
Mm-hmm.
It was not the 10-night Journeys cruise to the Southern Caribbean. No, that was the triple pneumonia cruise. Because our beloved brother-in-law, Ron, went on a cruise with a cold. I mean, it was not a big deal. When we got home from the 10-night cruise that he had spent the whole time coughing.
Whole time coughing.
Whole time. He went to the doctor, because why would you go before you go on vacation? It makes so much more sense to go after. And they did a chest x-ray, and not only did he have double pneumonia, but he has a tiny little extra lung behind his heart. He had triple pneumonia. And so now he will never live it down. It is the triple pneumonia cruise.
Yeah. Everyone's ready to string him up by
Throw
the end
him
of it.
overboard. Yeah, we're just like, Ron, stop coughing. Yes. But at the time we were completely annoyed, but now we're completely amused by it. And it will live in infamy.
Yeah. Not that you should go on any cruises if you're ill.
No.
You're not. Take
No.
care of that before you
Yeah,
go.
go get the antibiotic before you get on the ship.
Yeah. But
You have a story you want to tell us?
I have one. We'd gone to Gatlinburg on a vacation one time. We rented a house, and we went into the house, and the house just smelled terrible. There was a urine smell to it, and this was a no pets house
Right.
when we rented it, because we have a number of people that are allergic to cats in particular.
So
in
that's
our
one thing
family.
we always check is no pets.
Right. And so after going in for 10-15 minutes, we almost brought in all of our luggage, and we were like, hold on, we can't deal with this for a week. We went to the agency, and they came and they said, yeah, we'll get you something better.
It smelled like cat pee.
They upgraded us to a much nicer house than what we paid for. And so we got a better deal, really, for the same money. They weren't going to charge us as a house that was going to sit empty for
Right.
the week. So that was a positive there. That's also the trip where my son and I, Donovan, he was out in the hot tub outside. This new place had a hot tub outside, and a bear come walking up, and there's bears all over Gatlinburg. And I think it was a juvenile, but it came up, stood on the side of the hot tub and walked around and then jumped off the other side. So we would have missed that close encounter had we not had the upgraded house. So that was a positive.
That
All
was
in
a
all,
positive.
everything was a positive.
Right. And in Gatlinburg, it's all about the views. And this house had a whole wall, 2-story wall of windows. That the views were terrific, especially the bear probably thought he had a pretty good view too if you were not in the hot tub. Another trip that it went so wrong. It just started off wrong. We made the mistake. This was the first family cruise we took. Matt and I had been on a cruise before, but we had a really good time, and so we wanted to take our kids and my sister and brother-in-law and my mom and. Anyways, so we're on the plane. We made the mistake of flying down the morning of. And as we're sitting on the plane and I'm going through in my head everything I think I've remembered, I realize I have forgot our oldest son's birth certificate. He was 16. He had no other form of ID to get on the ship. And I felt like an utter and total failure. Oh my goodness. But So now it's a story of how you can make things work out, because
Yeah.
when we grabbed the cell phone real quick, he called his dad, told dad where the birth certificate was. When we landed in Orlando, he went to the business center and called again with the fax number, and oh man. But I felt terrible, but now I think back, and we learn valuable lessons. Double check, double check, double check, and don't fly down the same day as the cruise.
Yeah, that was a long 3-hour flight.
And I felt terrible. Nobody was madder at me than me. But I made sure everybody else had their stuff, but I had forgotten it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One I have was, this isn't really a trip, but this was a picnic we were having here. We have a extended family that we always have holiday picnics with, and kids are always goofing around, so it's getting close to time for the picnic to start. They load up all the food onto the table, and one of my nephews was goofing around, backed into the table. Almost every bit of food that we had prepared went on the ground prior to anyone getting anything to eat. So that was a bad scene there. Now the girls, my nieces and my wife and everyone else, chipped in, tried to make the best of it, scraping up potato salad off the ground, putting it back in the bowl, and pretending like it was just fine. But we remember that bad time, and now we kind of
we laugh, and we call him Crash. That's his family nickname is Crash. What are you going to do? If you don't laugh, you're just going to strangle somebody, and that's no good. The same trip, I think that I forgot the birth certificate. I'm pretty sure. We had to sail around Hurricane Epsilon.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, I've never been on seas as rough as that. They were back and forth. The drunk people were walking straight lines. The sober people were all over the place. My skinny little mother... It was so rough, it threw her out of bed.
Yeah, it was very rough.
Our oldest son and our friend Mark threw up. And oh man, their cabin was horrible.
Yeah.
I left an extra $50 for the room steward because it was just that bad. But now that's something we remember. And my mother has since passed on. So when she died, we scattered her ashes from a cruise ship because she loved to cruise as much as we do. So, but that's a story that we tell when we talk about cruises. Remember when Mom got thrown out of bed during the hurricane? Yeah. So, at the time, it probably hurt, but it became a good story.
It did. My last one that I'm going to talk about is when we went to Ireland here this past year. We were in Ireland. They have a lot of stone curbs, and you drive on the opposite side of the road, and it was getting close to dark.
Narrow roads.
And I actually got too close to the curb, and I sliced the sides of the tires on the curb as I was driving down the street in a little city. I don't even remember what city it was in. Little town, Dingle. And within a half a mile, I start noticing the car wanting to pull badly to the left. I pull over. Wouldn't you know it, the tires are sliced open, and just about that time they're hitting the ground. The rims are on the ground.
Not one tire, but two.
Yeah, front and back. And here we are, a mile out of town in Ireland. I think it was a Friday or Saturday night. So I was like, oh, what am I going to do? I got my wife, I got my 3 daughters, and my mom and dad who are in their 80s. What am I going to do? Walk back to town? I don't think there's AAA in Ireland. I don't know if there is. Anyhow, luckily within 5-10 minutes, a guy stopped and said, hey, you having trouble? I told him the situation.
Complete stranger.
I know who can help you. It's right down the road. Jump in, I'll take you down, and we'll go down and talk to him. There was a repair shop on a side road just a mile away, probably. And I go in and tell the guy, he says, okay, jump in my truck, I'll take you back up, let me look at the tires. Went up, looked at them, he got the sizes. He said, wait here, I'll be back in 10 minutes. He came back within 10 minutes with the tires we needed to replace it. He used a hand jack to jack the things up, popped off the tires, put the new ones on, took the tires off, took them back to his shop, put them on the rims, brought them back up. Within an hour, we were on our way.
Right.
And that is just God looking out for us in that case. It couldn't have worked out any better. If we were going to get flat tires, within an hour, you're back on the road.
Right.
That is something else.
And that just really shows you humanity is not doomed, I don't think. That was a bad situation. That was just because of... would you stop somebody along the road that was you would be scared. You could trust them, you know,
Yeah.
to help them. But this guy stopped and said, "Oi, you having trouble?" And with his beautiful Irish brogue, and man, it was just perfect,
Yeah,
really.
it was.
Well, I have three more. I don't know where your memory
Okay.
is, and two of them have to do with our brother-in-law again. Triple Pneumonia Cruise we talked about. So we were at Half Moon Cay, and we had rented a cabana. This is again on the Triple Pneumonia Cruise. This happened, I think. And he loves the ocean just like we do, and he went out. Half Moon Cay is beautiful, lovely water, and he fell asleep floating on his back and got second-degree burns on his tatas. And that's how you have to say it. You have to say he had sunburned tatas. He went down, we got back on the ship, and at night the sunburn comes out. He went down to the nurse, the infirmary, and she looked at him and went, "Holy crap, what happened to you?" He got a $15 tube of sunburn cream, and he was glad to pay it. So now we're going back to Half Moon Cay next month, and we have warned him about his sunburned tatas and to pack the sunburn cream.
Sun cream.
Yeah, and my last memory is probably a perfect example of this, a bad memory becoming a great story. We were going to Orlando and staying on site at Disney. But we were not getting in until late in the afternoon. We were going to stay off site for one night before our package started the next morning. And somebody found a really great deal on this hotel for, was it $24 a night or something? Which
Yeah.
is a terrific deal. We got 2 rooms. And we get there, and the rooms are on the 3rd floor? 4th
Third.
floor.
3rd or 4th.
Third, yeah, and the elevator isn't working. And we have 3 boys, and we had our daughter Serenity at the time was, I think, 3, 4.
Yeah, she was young.
So we had to schlep everything up, and our room isn't ready yet. So we take everything into his mom and dad's room, and I think we went and got the oil changed in the van or something silly like that. Came back, our room is ready. We go in. Hey, there's a bed, table and chair, or there's a couch, a table and chairs, microwave, refrigerator. Where's the bed? There was no bed. Oh, turns out we had adjoining rooms. In the other room, there was 2 beds and a chair or something. But, okay, so there's no sheets for the pull-out sofa. There's no pillows. There was no shower curtains in either bathroom.
Yeah.
There was no toilet paper in one bathroom. I mean, just like a lot of things wrong with these 2 rooms.
Yeah.
The boys are going to go down to swim, and there was a dead rat in the pool. Or it may have been a chihuahua. They didn't get that close to check. I mean, it was just like a lot of things went wrong with this room. And so now we have lovingly referred to this hotel as Hell's Welcome Center. It wasn't hell, but you could see it from there.
That's right.
Yeah. And that was the last time certain people were allowed to pick the hotel.
Okay.
Or
It
certain
was a
people,
great deal, though.
It was a great
It
deal.
was a great deal.
So he took a shower the next morning and
Yeah.
water everywhere. But that was the first hotel we were up and out by 9 o'clock
That's right.
to get to
Yeah.
the Disney resort. Okay, so this has now ran almost 14 minutes long, and our goal was to keep them under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But this is a perfect example of what I'm saying, that when bad things happen, they're bad at the time, but they're a great story that you want to share with people.
Yeah.
I mean, I can think of at least 3 other stories I could tell
Yeah,
you.
there's some more.
But you know what? Don't just think about telling your grandkids these stories when the things happen. Like, I love to hear us tell our kids some of the crazy, when like coming home from Kentucky and the alternator going out in our car,
Yeah.
and just crazy stuff that we tell them, and they can't believe that their parents were so young and stupid, because now we are so wise and mature. But until next time, adventure is out there. Good, bad, and otherwise adventure is out there. So go out and have an adventure. Good night.
Good night.